We're on our way to Marathon to run a marathon. How cool is that? We'll be running the course that Philippides ran just over 2,500 years ago. We'll see you in Athens. And the Athenians found out this was happening, and so they sent a swift runner to Sparta to ask for their assistance. And the name of this runner, history tells us, was Philippides. So he ran from Athens to Sparta, which is a distance of about 155 miles. So be very glad that today you're competing in the marathon and not the Spartathlon, which honors that run of Philippides from Athens to Sparta, a distance of about 155 miles. And we're not only told where he went and how far it was, but we're also told that he did it in a day and a half. So in 36 hours he ran 155 miles, got to Sparta, and the Spartans, they said, well, we would love to help, but we're in the middle of this festival, and it's very important to our gods, and if we were to break the festival and come to help you, we would be destroyed. So we have to wait until this festival is over, but then we will come to help. Philippides then ran back to Athens, then on to Marathon, where he gave the news that the Spartans were not coming. By then, the troops were aligned. The Athenians were up in the hills looking down on the Persians, and they really just kind of looked at each other for a while. And eventually, the Persians decided the best thing for them to do, the smartest thing for them to do. They outnumbered the Athenians by more than 2 to 1, but they decided that they would load half of their troops back onto ships and make them go around through the water, make them go around and attack Athens directly. While they were in the midst of loading the ships, that was when the Athenians decided to attack. They found a weak point in the Persian line, and because of the way that the Athenians wore their armor and held their shields, they were very effective against the Persians, and they were able to win in that battle. But of course, by then, the ships had already sailed to go around to Athens, and so they had to get word back to Athens that there had been a victory in Marathon, but that there were more Persians coming to Athens directly. So poor Philippides, who had run 155 miles to Sparta, had run 155 miles back, had run 26 miles to Marathon, was then asked to run as fast as he could back to Athens with news of the victory, and also to let them know that not to despair, that the warriors that had been victorious in Marathon were on their way back to Athens. He ran back, as we saw the spot, the Pnyx, is that the way to pronounce it, more or less? The place where the ecclesia, the place where the men would gather to decide on things in the democracy that was Athens, up near the Acropolis. He ran there and announced, victory, we have won, and then history tells us he died. Not from running 26 miles, you guys are all going to be fine, but had you run close to 400 miles in the last 2 days, maybe it would have been a little bit much. So following close as possible behind Philippides were all of the Athenian warriors who came back, mounted the Acropolis, and as the Persian ships gathered close to Athens to unload, they were flashing reflections off of their shields toward the ships, so that the Persians saw all of these warriors gathered on the mountain ready for battle. Of course, they couldn't believe that these would be the same warriors who had fought in Marathon. They thought that Athens had easily twice as many troops as they had anticipated. And so rather than face these warriors and face this battle, the Persians sailed away. So they were victorious on that day 2,500 years ago. We know we're all going to be victorious today. Have a great run. If you don't catch up, then... No, that's how it goes. There's the porta potties. We're here. Porta potty is up front. We take the dog too. stops go everywhere.
Here we are. Everybody ready? Okay, Sharon. There you go. Keep going, folks. Got your MP3?